Good morning, friends. Welcome to Dinesh Miglani tutorials. These are the sessions of history. The topic of is early medieval history, right? We have divided all my videos of history in three areas. First one is ancient, second one is the medieval, and third one is modern, right? That is the first session on the medieval India series, right? That's our session number 1. That is about earlier medieval India. In this session, I am going to discuss about Chola, Chalukya, Hoysala, Yadav, and Kartikeya dynasties, right? So these are the early medieval dynasties of India, right? My Facebook page is Dinesh Miglani Tutorials. For talking to me, you may call me, or my WhatsApp number is 092-155-14435. My email ID legalbuddy@gmail.com. For regular updates of my videos, you may subscribe my YouTube channel @Dinesh Miglani Tutorials. I expect from you to share my videos on your Facebook wall as well as with your friends so that they will also be benefited by this. So let us start with this session. These sessions are very useful, very helpful for the students who are going for SSC, civil services, state civil services, or any examination in which history plays a very important role, right? In which history is a subject. So these sessions are going to help the student in a very effective way. Let us start with this session. In this session, I will use English as well as Hindi so that the students who are from Hindi medium, they can also understand and have the things in their mind, right? Before starting with the session, first of all, I just want to tell you what I am going to actually discuss in this session. In this session, first of all, we try to discuss about Chola dynasty, right? A very important dynasty from South India, right? Apart from that, we try to understand about the various features of Chola dynasty, right? Their administration, how they work, right? And apart from this, the few other dynasties that we are going to talk about, that is Eastern Chalukya of Vengi, right? Similarly, we are talking about Western Chalukya of Kalyani, right? As well as Hoysala, Yadavs, right? And Kartikeya and Kakatiyas. So all these dynasty we are going to talk in this session, right? But before starting with this, first of all, there is a need to understand about this the period of 8th century to 12th century period, right? When we talk about this 8th century to 12th century period, the political life basically in North India, that is dominated by a few small number of states, right? The main contenders in this struggle for supremacy were Palas and Rashtrakutas, right? In the south, the most powerful kingdom to emerge during the period was Cholas, right? All these are the basically kingdoms of south. Okay, so there the Cholas brought down about the political unification of the large part, right? What Cholas has done, उन्होंने साउथ इंडिया के काफी बड़े एरिया को एक सिंगल कंट्रोल में ले लिया था. तो 9th सेंचुरी के एंड तक आते आते चोलास ने अपने शासन को काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग कर लिया था, राइट? The Indian Chola Empire extended their empire over the sea, ruled from Maldives to Sri Lanka, right? That they expanded their empire to the Maldives as well as to Sri Lanka. Okay, the founder of this kingdom of Chola was the name of Vijayala. That's the founder of this kingdom, Chola. That's the important name here. So, जो ये person थे Vijayala, he was a king. He was the founder of the Chola kingdom, right? By the end of the 9th century, Cholas established their exercise control over the south of India. 9th century के end तक आते आते चोलास ने पूरे साउथ इंडिया पे अपना कंट्रोल कर लिया था, राइट? एंड दिस वाज ड्यूरिंग द रेन ऑफ राजा राजा. ही रूल्ड फ्रॉम 985 टू 1014 एंड हिज सन राजेंद्र वन, that is 1014 to 1044, right? So these are basically two important kings of Cholas. First one is Raja Raja from here, ठीक है? और जो दूसरे थे उनके सन, that is Rajendra I, right? So Chola power became established in the reign of these two kings. For Cholas, the important feature is their local self-government system, right? The autonomous village council or self-government was the most important characteristic of Chola administration. Why Cholas are so much important for India is that देयर लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, राइट, अपने आप से एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को चलाना, ये चोलाज की सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर थी, राइट। टू Utermure's inscription of Parnaka Chola 1 dated 919 and 929, they provide valuable information about these councils, right? So in Cholas we have the three councils, Ur, Sabha and Nagaram, right? So these information about these can be taken from to Utermure inscription, right? Or it's basically the name of the inscription, right? That is inscriptions were in the period of 919 and 929. So they stated that Chola administration was divided into the three parts. First one is Ur, right? The Ur was basically commoner type of assembly, right? So basically it's an assembly of the common villages. Basically it's an assembly of common villages, right? The land of Ur was held by all classes of people. Hence all members of the village could become the member of Ur, right? तो Ur Chola administration की सबसे छोटी इकाई थी, right? उर का मतलब क्या था कि एक कॉमन प्लेस में जितने भी लोग थे, जिन जिन की उस प्लेस में लैंड थी, राइट, और वो सभी उर के मेंबर थे। और चोला पीरियड के अंदर लैंड वाज हेल्ड बाय एनी ऑफ द पर्सन, एनी क्लास ऑफ द सोसाइटी, ऑल क्लासेस हैव द लैंड। तो इसका मतलब क्या था कि उर के सभी क्लासेस के लोग जो उर के मेंबर थे, राइट। सेकंड वाज सभा, इट वाज एक्सक्लूसिवली ब्राह्मण असेंबली, राइट। तो जो ये सभा थी चोला पीरियड में, सभा में ब्राह्मण लोग थे ओनली, राइट। ऑल द लैंड इन सभा बिलोंग टू द ब्राह्मण्स। तो जो ब्राह्मण थे उनकी जो लैंड थी दैट वाज ए पार्ट ऑफ सभा, राइट। थर्ड वन इज नगारम, इट वाज एन असेंबली ऑफ द मर्चेंट्स एंड बिलोंग्स टू द लोकेलिटीज वेयर ट्रेडर्स एंड मर्चेंट्स वर डोमिनेंट्स। तो प्राइमरली चोला एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के अंदर तीन पार्ट्स में डिवाइड किया गया था। उर के अंदर तो सभी क्लासेस के लोग थे जिनके पास लैंड थी, राइट, और जिनके पास लैंड थी वो ऑटोमेटिकली उर के मेंबर थे। सेकंड था सभा, राइट, जो ब्राह्मण्स थे ये इसमें इनकी लैंड आती थी। और थर्ड इज नगारम, बेसिकली इट वाज ए असेंबली ऑफ मर्चेंट्स एंड द ट्रेडर्स, राइट, एंड लोकेलिटीज वेयर ट्रेडर्स एंड मर्चेंट्स आर डोमिनेट्स। तो प्राइमरली लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ चोला के अंदर ये तीन बेसिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस थी। After that, important functions of local administration were entrusted to a committee of 6 to 12 members. Basically, at that time also, the whole administration was divided into the different parts, right? As we have practically today. And in every administration, they have committee. That committee members may vary from 6 to 12. Okay? तो all these members, मतलब सारे administration को committees में divide किया गया था और हर committee में 6 से 12 members थे, right? तो these are names of some committees. So that was basically in South Indians name, right? But for your examination point of view, if you are going for civil services, so all these names are very important, right? So they have garden committee, tank committee, standing committee, gold committee, annual committee. Means ये जो committee system presently prevail कर रहा है, ये चोला administration का एक बहुत important part था, right? And members of the committee are called as Variapar Maklam. They are being called as Variaparum Maklam, right? So all these names are from South India, right? So these are the basic features of Chola's administration, because what they have done, they have made three type of sabhas, okay, Ur, Sabha, right, and third one is Nagaram, and after that they have made various committees, and each committee number of members are from 6 to 12. Next we have the specific feature of Chola's architecture, right? The first one is when you talk about any architecture piece of Cholas, the Dwarpalas or guardian figures at the entrance of the mandap or hall, which entrusted from the Pallav period, became a unique feature of the Cholas temple, right? किसी भी चोला टेम्पल के बाहर हमेशा द्वारपाल या गार्जियन की मूर्ति जरूर होती थी, राइट? तो ये बेसिकली उन्होंने कहां से ली थी? दे हैव टेकन फ्रॉम द पल्लव पीरियड, राइट, बट दे हैव बिकेम ए यूनिक फीचर ऑफ चोला टेम्पल। तो आप किसी भी चोला टेम्पल की बात करिए, हर चोला टेम्पल के बाहर में उनके मेन गेट पे या उनके मेन एंट्रेंस पे या हॉल के बाहर यू मे फाइंड द मूर्ति ऑफ द्वारपाल और गार्जियन, राइट? तो दैट वाज ए बेसिक फीचर ऑफ चोला टेम्पल। सेकेंड वन इज द द्रविडियन स्टाइल गोट फुल्ली डेवलप्ड आफ्टर ए ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम रॉक कट स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑफ द पल्लव पीरियड, राइट? सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर क्या थी? पल्लव पीरियड के अंदर जो रॉक मतलब जो पहाड़ों को काट के जो मूर्तियां बनाने वाला काम या मंदिर बनाने वाला काम था, तो दैट द्रविडियन स्टाइल वाज फुल्ली डेवलप्ड इन द चोला पीरियड, राइट। तो चोला पीरियड के अंदर ये जो आपका द्रविडियन स्टाइल था ये फुल्ली डेवलप हो चुका था। कैसे पहाड़ों को काट के मंदिर बनाए जाए, मूर्तियां बनाई जाए, राइट। टेम्पल्स ऑफ इंपेरियल चोलास आर कवर्ड विद एक्सक्विजाइट वेल कंपोज स्कल्पचर्स एंड फ्रेस्कोस। तो जितने भी चोला के टेम्पल्स थे वो दे आर एक्सक्विजाइट वेल कंपोज्ड sculptures and frescoes, right? Largest and tallest of all Indian temples, that is a Shiva temple of Tanjore, was built in the Chola period. So that is the famous temple, Shiva temple. It was that temple is in Tanjore, right? That was built in Chola period. So that's a question generally. Shiva temple was built in which particular period? That was Chola period, right? And this temple is in Tanjore, right? तो क्या कह सकते हैं यहाँ पर हम चोला आर्किटेक्चर की कुछ स्पेशल फीचर्स हैं। फर्स्ट वन इज दैट द्वारपाल गार्जियन, ये कहां से लिया उन्होंने? पल्लव से। सेकेंड वन इज जो बेसिकली जो द्रविडियन स्टाइल था वो पूरा डेवलप हो चुका था उनके टाइम पीरियड के अंदर, पहाड़ों को काट के कैसे मंदिर बनाए जाए। और लार्जेस्ट एंड टॉलेस्ट ऑफ ऑल इंडियन टेम्पल्स इज दैट इज द शिवा टेम्पल, दैट इज इन तंजोर, दैट वाज बेसिकली मेड इन द चोला एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, चोला पीरियड, राइट। After that we have few other South Indian kingdoms. Let us try to discuss it one by one. First one is Eastern Chalukya. So whenever we talk about Eastern Chalukya, so that is basically Eastern Chalukya of Vengi, right? Eastern Chalukya of Vengi. Pulkesian two brother Kubja Vishnuvardhan. Basically that Eastern Chalukya of Vengi was founded by Kubja Vishnuvardhan. It's the name of the person, it's the name of the king who has started with this kingdom, Kubja Vishnuvardhan, right? So that he was the founder of Eastern Chalukya of Vengi, right? He made his capital in the ancient city of Vengi. The name of the capital of his was ancient city of Vengi, but soon its power was exhausted, and it about 10th century they allied to the Cholas again, but the Chola king did not maintain the alliance and annexed the kingdom in 1076 AD, right? What happened that पुलकेशियन ब्रदर, राइट, दैट वाज कुब्जा विष्णुवर्धन, उन्होंने ये ईस्टर्न चालुक्य ऑफ वेंगी की डायनेस्टी को फाउंड किया था या स्टार्ट किया था, राइट। और इस पर्टिकुलर किंग ने अपनी कैपिटल कौन सी बनाई थी? वेंगी, राइट। 10th सेंचुरी के अंदर इन्होंने फिर से चोला के साथ में टाई अप किया, अलायंस बनाया, राइट। बट चोलाज ने इनको अपने अंदर मिला लिया 1076 एडी के अंदर, राइट। तो ये एक बहुत थोड़े टाइम पीरियड के लिए दैट किंगडम वाज देयर, दैट इज ईस्टर्न चालुक्य ऑफ वेंगी। नेक्स्ट सेकंड वी हैव वेस्टर्न चालुक्य ऑफ कल्याणी, राइट। तो ईस्टर्न बिलोंग्स टू वेंगी एंड वेस्टर्न बिलोंग्स टू कल्याणी, राइट। दिस किंगडम वेस्टर्न चालुक्य ऑफ कल्याणी, दिस किंगडम एस्टेब्लिश्ड बाय ताइला टू इन this kingdom was established by Taila II, right? So that is the name of the king, right? So and earlier the name of the king was Kubja Vishnuvardhan, right? And here the name of the king is Taila II, right? How he made it after defeating Amoghvasha IV, the last Rashtrakuta ruler claimed descent from the Chalukya of Badami, right? So how that Western Chalukya of Kalyani was formed? Basically the Western Chalukya of Kalyani was formed by Taila II. It was the name of the king, right? How he formed it? अपने किंगडम को बनाने के लिए उन्होंने अमोघवाशा IV, जो लास्ट राष्ट्रकूट किंग था, राइट, और जो अपने आप को चालुक्य बादामी का डिसेंट मानता था, उसको हराने के बाद he made this kingdom Western Chalukya of Kalyani, right? The kingdom was extended up to southern part of the Parmara kingdom of Malwa, right? तो ये जो इनका किंगडम था ये मालवा तक, मालवा के साउथ पार्ट तक था, राइट। विक्रमादित्य II त्रिभुवनमाला 1076 to 1126 was the greatest ruler of this dynasty, right? So Western Chalukya of Kalyani, the greatest ruler was Vikramaditya II, the name, and also the Tribhuvanamala, right? He was the greatest ruler of this time period, and he is posed as a hero of Vikramanka Devacharita. He is the founder of the Vikrama Samvat era, right? The Vikrama Samvat era that we study in the present time, right? So that was basically founded by Western Chalukya of Kalyani, basically founded by the king of Western Chalukya of Kalyani, right? तो इसमें हमने क्या समझा कि जो वेस्टर्न चालुक्य ऑफ कल्याणी थे उसका जो फाउंड किया गया था, किंगडम एस्टेब्लिश किया गया था, उस किंगडम को ताइला नाम के किंग ने एस्टेब्लिश किया था, राइट। जिन्होंने एस्टेब्लिश करने के लिए अमोघवाशा फोर जो लास्ट राष्ट्रकूट रूलर थे उनको हराने के बाद इस किंगडम को एस्टेब्लिश किया था। इनका किंगडम काफी फैला हुआ था, ये मालवा के साउथर्न पार्ट तक फैला हुआ था, राइट। विक्रमादित्य टू त्रिभुवनमल्ल 1076 to 1126, right? He was from the period of 1076 to 1126. He was the greatest ruler of this period, right? And he was known to be the founder of Vikram Samvat era that we study in the modern time. Next we have Hoysala, right? So we have earlier we have studied two kingdoms. First one is Eastern Chalukya of Vangi, and the second one is Western Chalukya of Kalyani, right? The next we have Hoysalas. When we talk about the Hoysalas, basically their kingdom laid midway between kingdom of Chalukya on the northwest and that of Cholas on the southeast, right? So basically when we talk about this particular Hoysala, Hoysala is somewhere, suppose it's a kingdom of Hoysala. So in northeast of that you have Chalukyas, right? And in the southeast we have Cholas. So there Cholas, that is the area of the Cholas, right? And that is Chalukya, right? Between them there was a kingdom of Hoysala, right? They ruled over modern Mysore and Madras. So practically when we talk about the Hoysala, presently जो Mysore और Madras का part है, right? So that was actually the kingdom of Hoysala, right? The capital of Hoysala was Dwarasmundra. Basically that's the capital of the Hoysala, Dwarasmundra, right? The Chanakshara temple built by Vishnuvardhan at Belur in 1117 AD, and Hoy Saleshwar temple, that was 1150 AD at Helihid, are the examples of the Hoysala architecture. So these two are the basic temples. First one is Chanakeshwa temple, right? That was built by Vishnuvardhan at Belur in 1117 AD, right? And the second temple is Hoysaleshwar temple built in 1150 at Helihid. So these two are the very important temple of this period. The last king of this dynasty was Veerbala III, right, who was defeated by Malik Kafur in 1311, right. So basically that Malik Kafur was primarily and plunderer from the Arabian countries, right. He came to India, right, and in that period number of dynasties have been ended by him, right. So that we take further. So here we are talking about Hoysala. तो होयसाला के बारे में बेसिकली क्या है, होयसाला के नॉर्थ ईस्ट में कौन थे, नॉर्थ वेस्ट में चालुक्य, राइट, और नॉर्थ ईस्ट में कौन थे, चोलास। और ये जो पीरियड था जो एट प्रेजेंट मद्रास और मैसूर का एरिया है वो बेसिकली होयसाला के अंडर में था, राइट। इनकी कैपिटल का क्या नाम था, द्वारासमुद्रा। और दो इंपॉर्टेंट टेम्पल इनके पीरियड में बनाए गए थे। पहला टेम्पल था चेनेक्सवा टेम्पल, राइट, एंड द सेकंड वन इज होयसालेश्वर टेम्पल, ओके। और इस किंगडम का जो लास्ट रूलर था दैट वाज वीरबाला III, राइट, हु वाज डिफीटेड बाय Malik Kafur, a chief general of Alauddin Khilji. Basically, when we talk about this Malik Kafur, he was basically a chief general of Alauddin Khilji, because here we are taking both dynasty, we are taking north and south at the same time. So in the further part of this session, we talk about Alauddin Khilji, right? So it means that in 1311, he was that dynasty was totally ended by Alauddin Khilji. Next we have Yadavs. Right, Yadav were at first under the domination of Chalukya and Rashtrakuta. Right, basically in the starting they were under the domination of Chalukya and Rashtrakuta. Chalukya and Rashtrakuta. Right, but at the downfall of Chalukya, they became independent and began to gain power. Right. They ruled the region stretching from Nasik to Devagiri. Means they have this particular area Nasik to Devagiri, right. Bhilama was the first important king of this dynasty, right. So primarily Bhilama was the first important king of this dynasty. Number of other kings were there, Bhilama, Simhana, Ramchandra, right. He reigned from a period of 1187 to 1191 AD, right. So that was a period under which Yadavs were under the kingship of Bhilama, right. He defeated the Hoysala and made Devagiri as his capital. The capital of the Yadavs was Devagiri, right? What he has done, he defeated Hoysala and made Devagiri as their capital. Earlier we have studied that. Studied about the capital of the Hoysala was Dwara Sumandra, right? And Yadavs he made the capital as Devagiri. Okay. The most prominent king of the dynasty was Simhana. The most prominent king was named Simhana, right? Who vanished several dynasties such as Hoysalas and Andhras. The last king of the dynasty was Ramchandra, right? Who dominated the whole of the region up to Narmada river. Basically, all these are the dynasty of South India. तो जो यादव थे पहले वो चालुक्य और राष्ट्रकूट जो दो पर्टिकुलर किंगडम्स थे उनके अंडर में थे, राइट. बट चालुक्य के डाउनफॉल होने के बाद में उन्होंने पावर गेन करनी स्टार्ट करी और उनका जो किंगडम था वो नासिक से देवागिरी के बीच में था, राइट. इनके जो इंपॉर्टेंट रूलर्स थे, फर्स्ट वन इज भिलामा, राइट. ही वाज द इंपॉर्टेंट रूलर ऑफ दिस डायनेस्टी. उनका जो पीरियड था 1187 से 1191 एडी, राइट. इन्होंने होयसाला को हराया और देवागिरी को अपनी कैपिटल बना लिया, राइट. एज वेल एज सिमाना, ही वाज एन इंपॉर्टेंट किंगडम ऑफ दिस डायनेस्टी, राइट. ही आल्सो एंडेड फ्यू डायनेस्टीज लाइक होयसाला, राइट. The last king of this dynasty was Ramchandra. So Ramchandra was the last kingdom. So but we can say that when we talk about the Yadavs, so in Yadav we have primarily these three important kings. First one is Bilama, second one is Simana, and third one is Ramachandra. Right. Next we have Kakatiyas. That's the last dynasty that we are talking from the early medieval India, from South India. That is basically Kakatiyas, right? The Kakatiyas, when we talk about this Kakatiyas, in the beginning Kakatiyas were under the control of Chalukya dynasty, and after the downfall, what they have done, they asserted independence, right, in the territories of Telangana and Warangal. So basically they are in the territory of Telangana and Warangal, right, and they established their own kingdom. Okay. Some of the prominent king of this dynasty was Perona Raja Ganpati Pratap Rudra, right. Ganpati defeated Cholas, the Yadavs and several other rulers. He was the most important kingdom of Kakatiya dynasty. Malik Kafur invaded in their kingdom in 1309, and after that their dynasty also came to end, right. So what we can say that all these are the dynasty of the South India which were considered as a part of early medieval India, right, because when we talk about the North India part, so that particular area was dominated by small dynasties, right. About those we don't have so much information, but about South India, about the Deccan area, so we have primarily Cholas there, Chalukya, and Chalukya have been divided into two parts, Eastern Chalukya and Western Chalukya, right. Eastern Chalukya is basically Eastern Chalukya of Vangi and Western Chalukya of Kalyani, right. After that we have also Hoysalas there. Primarily these Hoysalas were under the control of Chalukya and Cholas, right. But whenever they got the time, they got independence. Same happens with Yadavs also, right. And after that we have Kakatiyas, right. So they were also under the control of Chalukya dynasty, right. So when they have got the time, so they became their own independent place, right. So this is end to our first session of this. Thank you very much. You may send your feedback to me at my email ID legalbuddy@gmail.com. Thank you very much.